calls out Bray Wyatt. And the leader of Retribution revealed. All that and more on the Wrestle Story.
Wow.
Welcome back. Wow.
I think that was the smoothest intro we've ever had.
Yeah, it wasn't very
Why
smooth.
does this say waiting for MAVEN'S Wrestling Rants? It says we're live, but it
says
also
we're live
says...
there.
Oh! It worked.
Yeah.
Got it. Sweet.
We're good. We're up.
That was probably
we're
the
running.
smoothest intro we've had in a long time.
In 3 weeks.
Yes. Probably. That's probably the truth.
I don't think your mic's working.
Oh no. Can you hear me?
No, you can't.
You can't hear me? That's toast.
Well, you can probably hear through my mic because you're loud.
Hello.
Test, 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 test. There we are. Alright, things working now.
Sweet.
Hey guys, your tribal chief is now here! Hello, Johnny Week.
Alright guys, so how's it going? What's up? How's it hanging? Tonight's Raw, honestly, wasn't that bad. I feel like there was some stuff on it that was a bit, but it wasn't a bad show.
Okay.
Like, I don't know, I didn't think it was terrible, but it also wasn't like, wow, Raw, you know?
Oh yeah, it wasn't like...
But like, it wasn't
Raw.
bad though. I don't want to sit here and say that it was terrible because I don't think it was terrible.
Okay.
I feel like it was okay.
Okay. Oh,
This tea is better than Raw.
I suppose I'll go along with that. Maybe. Or maybe I won't and you'll find out why.
We should prop this up a bit because your head's cut off.
I like having the top of my head cut off. I look cool. Hello, Mrs. Gleen. How are you doing? Heart, 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 heart.
That's better. So, yeah, guys. I didn't think Raw was terrible. Anyways, so we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about Monday Night Raw, Monday Night Raw, Monday Night Raw, Monday Night Raw.
The Boats in Wrestling Reviews. Yes.
Yes,
How you doing, James? How you doing, Zandel? Like, look, now it's not showing up over here. I freaking hate, like, how, like, I don't understand. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes you don't.
The Twitch chat is showing up there.
Yeah, the Twitch chat's
and the
doing there.
YouTube chat is showing up there, but it's not showing up on
Yeah, which is stupid. So we're gonna have to like look at two different screens. I don't understand why this works sometimes and sometimes it doesn't.
Anyways.
Raw was actually pretty good, except Lana getting put through a table for the second time.
Actually, James, it was like the fourth time.
Okay, I'm going to tell you how much I hate Raw right now.
Go ahead. Go ahead and do that. I gotta put this tweet out.
Raw sucks, okay? And as we go through this, you're gonna find out why. Alright? There you are. That's it.
That's it?
Technology's great until it isn't. Yeah, I don't understand why this is like our stream. Like, obviously, we're just getting... I wonder if I can refresh chat and it'll work.
Refresh chat? And maybe it won't.
Maybe it won't. We can see our Twitch is still coming through.
Didn't work.
Ali goes from hacker that they didn't show to leader of a heel faction. He is actually... Yes, you're correct.
So, you want to get into it?
100% correct.
Do you want to get into it?
Yeah, let's get into it.
Okay.
All right.
Let's get into it.
We're going to get right into Raw.
So we start the show off with a Randy Orton promo. I absolutely hated this.
Yeah. Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton. Never seen it before. Can't believe it's happening. I'm pretty pumped about this.
Like
I am so excited about this. This is like, you know, the never-ending story.
Don't do that. We're on YouTube.
Oh, yeah. We're on YouTube.
You can't do that because we'll get flagged.
Well, they'd never figured out because I can't, like, do it well.
Sing for crap.
So, yeah. Ollie went from hacker to the leader of Retribution. Guess the hoodies made sense. Yes, they did.
So
100% made sense. I mean, it's I don't know. So
this explains why they were so short to begin with.
Yes, because all these are short.
Was about this big, and then they brought T-Bar in, and T-Bar was like this big compared to Ollie when Ollie's this big. So I get it now.
Wait till they bring in T-Bone.
Alrighty, so that explains it.
Yeah.
So yeah, this Randy Orton promo, I absolutely hated this. I didn't like this at all. I don't see a need to continue Drew versus Randy.
Oh, I do. It's WWE.
Like,
100% WWE. Will
no
Retribution
reason.
ever be without masks?
Well, let's ask that question in a minute.
Don't know.
Let's ask that.
Do not know.
Well, let's ask that question in a minute. Charlie, remember that.
No clue.
Remember that. I want to touch on that when we talk about Retribution.
Yes.
So, I don't know. This Randy Orton promo is just bleh. It's just the standard Randy Orton crap, and I'm just over it. I don't really find him that entertaining anymore. I think there was a period of time when they were doing the Edge stuff that was good, but the rest of it is just... it's a lot of the same crap, and I'm just over it. I don't want to watch Randy Orton versus Drew in a promo battle that's the same as the last promo battle that they had about a month ago, that's the same as the last promo battle that they had about 2 months ago. So I don't care at this point.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me. We've done the legend crap over and over. We've literally done Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre like 4 times. 4 times now. So it's like, I don't know. I just don't care.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
And
I
it
don't
doesn't make a difference to me, dude.
James is sick of Orton. I don't blame you. I think this whole thing...
I feel like they really run him into the ground. Like, they had a good thing with him. And then they just... It just...
I'm not sick of Orton.
Nose dived.
I'm just sick of seeing the same thing over and over again. Like, nothing changes. They do the same stuff over and over. They just tweak it just a little bit.
Like I said, they had a good thing going with him when they were doing the Edge stuff, and then the stuff where they wrote Matt Hardy off of TV. That was good.
Yeah.
And that was good stuff. And then they started getting into this crap with the legends and like Big Show and Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair, and I'm just like, I don't need to see that. You know?
Well, I thought the Legends thing was cool.
I
thought that was good.
I didn't like that.
Love how WWE is ending the Orton McIntyre with Hell in a Cell and Sasha Bailey feud is sort of starting with it. Yes, I mean that's cool. Maybe they're ending the Orton McIntyre feud. I mean, who knows what they're doing?
The only way I see this ending is if Randy Orton walks out with the title. And I mean, they might do that at Hell in a Cell, but if that's the ultimate goal here is to put the title on Randy Orton, they should have just done it at the last pay-per-view, Clash of Champions. They should have just pulled the trigger and done it there. They shouldn't have done all this crap, dancing around, giving Orton the title. They should have just done it, if that's the ultimate goal. If not, why are we doing this match 18 times?
Well, as we go through this, I'm going to explain why they're doing this match 18 times.
It's stupid, and I don't get it.
Well, you'll find out in just a minute why they're doing this match 18 times.
Okay.
So, we are going to go straight through Raw this time instead of like breaking it down into what we thought was good and what we thought was bad, like we did with the show yesterday. So, just because I have thoughts on this whole show on the way they went with it.
Orton will be drafted to SmackDown. Scott, we'll kind of talk about the draft here at the end because the draft is coming up on Friday and it's only involving Raw and SmackDown, so I feel like it's only appropriate that we talk about it on our Raw show before the draft gets started on Friday.
I'm going to talk about the draft and how bad it is.
I will touch on the draft towards the end of the show after we get through Raw, so hold on to those draft questions.
Yeah.
Because I have some ideas on where I think people are going.
Yeah.
So, and Mr. G has no ideas because he doesn't think anybody should go anywhere.
I like this Raw. Observing stuff?
Me? I kind of liked it.
You have no clue what you're talking about, man.
I kind of liked it, but I also kind of didn't. Like, they did some goofy things, but it's, I don't know.
So here we go. We get Mandy Rose, Dana Brooke, and Asuka against Zelina Vega, Natalya, and Lana.
Right off the bat, I thought this was stupid. I don't care about 4 out of the 6 competitors that are in this match. The only ones that I care about are Asuka and Zelina Vega. And I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm like, the Raw Women's title doesn't really mean jack squat. And Asuka's kind of become a chump. So...
I don't care about it because last week we had Asuka versus Zelina Vega, Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose versus Lana.
The Boats.
And Natalya.
A.k.a. the Boats. Call them by their actual tag team name, which is the Boats.
I don't care what they are. And so, you know, I don't like the fact that it's like repeat.
Tell me about it, dude.
Repeat.
Tell me about it, dude.
Repeat.
Tell me about it, dude.
Let's watch the same thing every week. I could just tape it and know what's going to happen.
Dude, the Raw Women's
next week.
Division sucks. You don't even have to watch separate episodes of Raw. You could just stick with one episode of Raw for about, 3 months at a time. Just watch the same episode of Raw every week.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know?
James couldn't get into Thunderdome. Dana is undefeated. Isn't life grand?
Are we sure about that?
Yes, James, life is grand, but, it's the same stuff over and over again.
Okay, I don't care about Mandy Rose.
Hey, it's a good thing she's a tag team with Mandy Rose, because if she wasn't, she wouldn't be undefeated.
She wouldn't be on TV right now.
Please talk about the 6 women tag, because I blacked out for some reason during that match.
I wonder why.
I blacked out, too. In hopes that I would not see the same stuff over and over again.
This is just pitiful. The Raw Women's Division is just pitiful. They need to mix some things up because, my God, this is awful. Dude, since Asuka won the
Did
title,
everybody miss this match? Johnny Elite missed the match. Observing Stuff missed the match. I mean, did everybody miss this? If you did, good job. Because you didn't miss anything. Watch last week's show and you would know pretty much what happened in this one.
So, the Raw Women's Division is god-awful at this point. Asuka, since winning the title, it's not been good. I mean, the Bayley-Sasha stuff was great. I really liked that. I thought they were going to go in the direction of giving Shayna a title shot, and then that's not happening now because Shayna's doing the tag team title crap. So, I mean, I don't know. Asuka's literally run out of people to fight. She's Mandy Rose, Dana Brooke, Natalya, Lana, Zelina Vega. Asuka shouldn't even be grouped in with this section of people. She is way above their level, and it shouldn't be happening. I don't care if it's like a throwaway match or anything like that. This is dumb. Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke they don't bring anything to the women's division at all. Natalya and Lana don't bring anything to the women's division. Asuka's getting a real crap deal by Shayna and Nia both, quite frankly, being thrown into the tag team title picture. At this point, just put the titles on the Riot Squad or, the Boats, I guess, if you want to. I don't care anymore after that. Just to get some of these good matches that Asuka should be getting. Because these are just pitiful. And it's like, what? Let's just, not to be all like Becky, but, let's just take a look here. Where was the Raw Women's title roughly 6-8 months ago? Prominently featured on TV. The storylines were good. The champion was fighting people that were actually decent. And now it's not happening. Also, let's just take into account one of their lead writers for the women's division, or one of the lead advocates for the women's division, has been furloughed, has been let go, is not really working with the company right now. So, I don't know. That was a really, really crappy move on WWE's part to get rid of Fit Finlay, because if he was the only one pushing for the women's division, then, what are we doing now? There is nobody pushing for the women's division. So this is why they're getting crap storylines. They're being
The problem is, it's not just the women's
matches.
division. It's like writing in general.
Well, yeah, but like I said, if you take a look at
The
where
whole
the
thing
women's
is this
division
way.
was 6 months ago to where it is right now,
But the whole thing is
It's
this way.
not
it's
very
not just
good.
it's not just like the women's division. It's like the writing in
but
general.
I'm
for
talking
this.
about the women's division in general. It's taken a severe drop.
Okay, but
It
as we
is
go through, you're gonna
literally
find
has-
out it's not just the women's
But
division.
I don't
it's
care
like
about
the
the
whole
rest
thing.
of it. The rest of it sucked before. So, yeah, everything's kind of fallen off the map. But if you take a look at the women's division and you pay attention to what's happened, the women's division has really fallen off the map.
Well, James says, face it, it's not the same without Becky. And Scott says, in all fairness, Becky ran out of challengers.
Towards the end there, yeah.
John Elite says Natalya and Lana elevating the women's division.
Where's the elevation in that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I
And-
literally don't know.
And Natty brings a lot. Did you know she's a heart? She does bring a lot. There's no doubt about it.
She's like real great.
Yeah. Especially when you have the same matches over and over.
Especially when you
And
start
over
to pair up Lana
again.
and Natty.
And then that way, when it gets to the pay-per-view, you're like, okay, who cares?
That's what I'm saying, though, dude. Like, their
I've seen this 100 times,
pointless.
or some form of this 100 times.
Their pay-per-views are pretty pointless to watch because you can literally pay attention to the free show, Raw or SmackDown, every freaking week, and you're gonna see the same crap that you see there that you would see on the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
That's it. So it's like not even worth it.
So then Shayna and Nia come to the ring, and...
What are you talking about?
Huh?
This was now? This was now.
Yeah.
My bad. Sorry.
Shayna and Nia come to the ring.
That's how great I, remembered this, because I totally forgot this happened.
And they killed Lana. Well,
Okay.
actually, Nia killed Lana.
I'm cool with this.
Like, is that the...
It does.
How many times she done it? 3 times?
4
I think
times.
they mentioned it 4 times. So she's killed her on the announcer's table 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So yeah. So see, they're even keeping track of how many times that happens. Oh, 4 times. It's the 4th time it's happened. So yeah. Then we get R-Truth. I love R-Truth, but
Dude, these segments have gotten stupid.
well, I was okay. I'm okay with it every now and then, but like it's the same people over and over again. Again, it's like the storylines don't change. You change where they're at, but the storylines are the same. You have R-Truth. You have Drew Gulak. Now, I thought it was cool, that Gulak's dressed as like a janitor, and Truth's going, Randy Orton, you're not going to get me. And then he got pinned, and he said, Randy Orton took off. Little Jimmy, you need to watch out what we're doing. First off, he was sitting there with the draft, and he was talking about little Jimmy being drafted as the number 3 pick, which I thought was pretty funny. But then, doing this whole segment with these 3 again is, the only thing that makes us good is Truth.
And even then, it's just kind of like, it's hard for Truth to be Truth when it's the same 3 guys and it's kind of the same thing over and over. So it's not really doing anything different or elevating, the last segment that they did.
They should have just had the real janitor there and come and pin him.
Should have. That would have been funnier.
Actually, he said custodian. I think he was like janitor, and then he was like, oh, the custodian. The 24/7 title needs to go away. No, Scott, it doesn't, because then R-Truth would not be on TV if they took that away. And he is part of, what makes the show good sometimes.
They need to merge the women's division just like the tag division. I kind of agree. I think they need to merge.
Mercy the Buzzer's name was on the whiteboard. I didn't even pay attention to that.
Vince McMahon was on the whiteboard? Well, that's funny. I think that they could benefit from merging the women's division, but I don't want to see the women's division all on one show because I feel like that's not helping them. I think that they should say the women's division and the tag team division, they can kind of be like on Raw or SmackDown to begin with, but not on Raw or SmackDown. They can kind of go wherever they're needed in, a certain time frame, just because after the champion goes through everybody, it's really, after the champion goes through everybody on Raw, then it's really just like that person fighting the same people over again. So then you need to bring in some of the SmackDown people or somebody from NXT to fight. And so I feel like they need to just let the women and the tag teams go wherever to kind of do what they need to do, but don't necessarily strap them down or don't throw out this idea. Or they need to just leave.
What a concept, just to have their own show.
No, it has nothing to do with giving them their own show, you fool. I think that would be stupid, personally. I think giving them their own show would be dumb. I've talked about this before. I don't think it's a brilliant idea. I think that just merging the division, not putting them on one show, because I don't think that's, like, I don't love that. So I think that merging the division and then letting people move wherever they need to go in the time that they're needed, I think is what they need to do. Instead of just strapping them down to, all right, Carmella is on Raw and only on Raw and she will never be seen on SmackDown ever again, I think they need to let them go wherever they're needed.
How you doing, Stone Cold David?
Right now, Raw needs some women to come over to help beef up the women's division over there and to help give Asuka some new challengers, because right now it's real sad. So.
Guy's theory for the Ridge Holland angle last night. Takeover, what if he was paid by Pat McAfee to attack Adam Cole as payback for Takeover 30? That'd be interesting. If the women had their own show, would be goofy. I don't think so. I think because then you have all the women on one show, and you could, you don't even have to have a 3-hour show. You could do a 2-hour show, or even if you wanted to, knock it down to an hour, and you'd still be fine.
I
think you could do the women's show. The issue is they try to have the tag titles, and right now there's no tag teams, but the men have the same issue. You're trying to have too many title belts for something that's not there.
I don't like the idea of giving the women their own show. I feel like that's taking like 18 steps backwards. Yeah, giving them their own show would be great, fine, dandy. I don't know. Personally, I think there are some people that go to watch the women's wrestling and they want to see the women have, good matches and stuff and good stories. So I think there's going to be a portion of people that would go and watch it. But having a whole separate show to add to during the week when you already have all these other shows that are happening, I feel like that's kind of dumb to do that. Because then you're going to make people choose again between, it'll be a situation of like WWE and AEW on Wednesdays. And you see how the viewership is. And I feel like if the viewership wasn't that great, then it wouldn't be a thing. And they'd just merge it back to Raw and SmackDown. And that would be if they get a TV deal. If not, it would just be on the network, and it would become 205 Live, because I don't know how many people would go out of their way to watch that. So I like keeping the women's division where it is. I like keeping them on Raw, SmackDown, and NXT.
Well, this is why you have the issues you have.
No, but it's not, though.
You can't write stories
But it's not, though, because they're able to write stories for the women. It's a matter of whether they want to or not, and right now, I don't think they want to. The women don't have anybody going to bat for them, and that's absolute garbage. They're not writing them good stories right now. It's not a matter of they can't do it. They can. They have. Look at the last year and a half of WWE product for the women's division. It's been pretty good.
Okay, but look at what you have
to
work with.
Okay, but I don't want to hear that, though. They're working with the division, and on the 2 shows that they have, what have been some of their top stories over the last several months? Asuka. They've involved Asuka, Bayley, Sasha. Okay.
Outside of that, who do you have?
Well, right now they don't really have anybody because they're not building anybody else up.
Who do you have, though?
They have several women.
Who?
Do you want me to pull out the list?
Just start telling me. Someone that can step up and be in the spotlight and be good.
Okay.
Not so fast.
I don't see what
let me
your point
think.
Is. What's your point? And you think giving the women their own show would help do this? Because if they're only going to put... It doesn't matter what they do with the women's division on their own show. They can build people up easily on Raw and SmackDown.
If you bring
they
them,
can take a couple minutes away from the Drew and Randy promo.
Okay, but if you bring them all together, on one show, you could do the crossover stuff. You don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about. You could have Bayley versus Asuka, a feud there, and Sasha versus Shayna.
They literally can do that on Raw and SmackDown right now.
How? Because if you're trying to keep your people on your one show, it's hard to do.
What I'm saying, dude, you legit did not listen to anything I just said. What I said was, take the women, don't strap them down to one specific brand. Let them be in WWE. They don't all have to be on Raw, SmackDown, or NXT, or have them split up. They can be on a show, okay? They can show up on a show weekly if they want to. But then there's going to be times that they're going to need to switch them around so we get fresh storylines and switch things up. They need to do the same thing with the tag team division. We're not sitting here saying, oh, let's give the tag team division their own show. No, that's not what anybody's saying, because that's not what anybody wants. They want the women to be able to go out there.
Well, and this is why you're going to continue having issues, because you don't have enough women, and somebody gets hurt.
But you do,
or several people get hurt. And
but you do.
Where? Tell me who?
Mandy Rose. You have Dana Brooke. You have Ruby Riott. You have Bayley, Sasha, Charlotte.
Really? Like Ruby Riott?
Asuka,
okay, we sit here every week.
Carmella.
The thing is,
you have Lacey Evans,
every
Tamina,
week,
Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Bianca Belair, Tegan Knox, Dakota Kai.
Every week.
Are you freaking kidding me? They don't have women?
And
really? Tell me, every week what?
And every week it's Dana sucks, Mandy sucks.
Because they do suck.
So you just as well eliminate putting those two in any type of big storyline. They're gone.
Maybe if they did anything to build them up.
I don't know how you can build them up.
Like I said, you take a couple minutes away from the stupid Randy Orton promo that we've seen 18 times. You take time away from the stupid MVP, the Hurt Business crap that we've seen 18 times. You take a couple minutes away from the Seth Rollins and Murphy thing that we've seen 18 times. And you add a little bit more time to the women's segments. You give them another couple segments on the show to begin to build some of these women. Okay? That's what you do. You don't have to just put the same crap out there over and over and over
but see,
and
that's
over
the same,
and over.
But see, that's the issue they have with the men's side.
It is.
Is they still deal with just like, 6 or 7 guys, and then that's it. Which is why they lost talent. Why they had people leave. So I've said they need to build up other men's wrestlers the same way that you're talking about building up the women's. But then if you're going to build up men's in these time slots, then you're going to lose the women's in those situations.
But giving them their own show isn't the answer because, like I said, it's either going to become a situation of if it's on a TV network, it's going to become a certain brand versus WWE. And then they're going to lose viewership. That's what's going to happen. They're going to have to decide which show they're going to watch. And if it's like what's happening with NXT, you look at their viewership, it's not that great compared to AEW. AEW is beating them out every single week. Pretty much.
Well,
that's what's happening. And then if you put it on the network, it's going to become a 205 Live situation where nobody's going to watch it.
We also have to, then if that's the case, then we just go back to, I would just, don't even do this stupid SmackDown Raw crap. Just okay, the storyline here is going to be here for now, and then the storyline there is going to be there for now, and then we're going to switch over, and I don't care what brand you're on. It doesn't matter.
That's literally what I was saying from the get-go!
But I'm talking about that for the men, too, not just the women.
Okay, but I'm talking about the women's division because that's what we were literally
But I
just
still think it was not going to work because you're not going to get women build up.
Division.
So,
but why, though? Why not?
Because of what I just said.
Okay, whatever. Then I guess the women are never going to be built up, and they might as well not even be on TV, period, right? Because if they're not being built up at all, with anything, then it's just pointless.
I don't know. We also don't know who has been affected from COVID, too. I mean, that's just it. I mean, there's a lot of factors involved here. I see Candice LeRae drafted to Raw or SmackDown, Johnny as well, and I also think Rhea is going to be called up to Raw or SmackDown, especially with Tony and Ember going to NXT now. That is possible.
They could use more of the women on each brand if Vince really wanted to. He just doesn't want to, clearly. His old man attention span can't handle that much thinking. Clearly! I mean, they could put more women on the show if they wanted to and take away from some of these stupid segments we see over and over again. But, he doesn't. So,
the issue I have is you have more men than women, so naturally you're going to have more men's segments than women.
You don't have to, though. You can cut a couple minutes off of some of these dumb segments that are 20 minutes long and make them shorter so you can fit in more time for the women to be able to get on the show. How many women's segments did we see tonight? But then you're going to have to promote the men. I mean, you're going to have to promote the men, too. But don't act like the men segments? Aren't going to get on the show because they will. Whenever there's space to cut out a segment, you want to know 99% of the time? It's a women's segment that's supposed to be on the show that would make sense for it to be there. And you're like, oh, well, why didn't they touch on this? Because they talked about it last week. Probably because it got cut from the show. Because Vince is like, oh, well, we need to drag out this promo for Randy Orton. Give it an extra 10 minutes so he can really get his point across. But it's not just about Randy Orton. It's about opening it up for other men, too. Because it's other men that they don't use. Okay. Then cut the Randy Orton promo in half and put somebody else on.
Okay, well, whatever. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, but you're saying...
So then you take out the women. So, I mean, any way you look at it, the women are going to be cut out of, being put out there.
Not necessarily.
So you have to stick with what you got going on now. If they divide their time up
properly and give them equal time, this wouldn't be an issue. But Vince is stupid.
Again, there's a lot more men that are...
I don't care! I literally don't care.
Well, I know you don't care.
They can divide it up some way.
Yeah, let's make it equal. Let's have the women out 50% of the time, the men out 50% of the time, and then, even though there's, half the women, I mean, that doesn't even make sense.
Okay, whatever.
So then we have MVP talking to Cruz, Ricochet, and Ali. I've never seen this before.
Never.
This is the first time this has happened.
Only once.
Yeah. Never happened before with MVP talking to Cruz and Ricochet and Ali. I don't know. I don't know that... Again, it's the same stuff being repeated over and over again. I mean, I sat here and watched this, and I'm like, this is like just a repeat of last week's.
Yeah.
I don't know if Mrs. Gleen, are you still in the chat? First time ever. Yep.
Mrs.
See?
Gleen, Mrs. Gleen.
Then we have Seth Rollins and Murphy. And
Seth Rollins and Murphy.
basically Murphy, telling him, hey, you need to apologize and say you're sorry, which we knew this was coming.
Well, actually, that's not what this was. We got Rollins and Murphy versus Dominic and Umberto. That's what this segment was.
Yeah.
And,
But no, this segment was them, like, talking.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, whatever. They're
Because
like,
he wants him to
apologize
say he's
each
sorry.
other. Sorry, whatever. They're like, apologize. And they're like yelling that at each other, and then they stop. And then they have a match with one another. Well, not with one another, but they have a match with Dominic and Umberto. But before that, we have to go, to Braun Strowman, who's backstage with Adam Pearson, is like, give me a match. And I'm like, okay, since when are you on Raw? I thought you were on SmackDown a week before the draft. Okay, then. So, Keith Lee walks up and is like, sign me up. And I'm like, I don't care. So
We're not having Raw Underground this week, but we're going to have Raw Underground in the ring.
I think Raw Underground was canceled.
So,
I think Raw Underground was canceled.
everything with WWE is rinse, repeat. And Observing Stuff agreed to me, yeah, that was done with the Seth Rollins-Murphy thing. So then we get the Seth Rollins and Murphy versus Dominic and Carrillo.
We've only seen this
Once? Twice?
3 times? Twice?
This whole
whatever.
storyline is,
Okay, but I still think this storyline is funny.
So let me add, chat, I'm just curious. Because of the way they're doing this, are you guys interested in this every week? Are you interested in watching Raw every week when they show the same matches or some variation of the same people going against one another?
I'm interested in this storyline because of last week. I thought last week was pretty good, and I was kind of intrigued to see what they were going to do this week. And this week's just kind of made me mad. Not like mad, like in a way that I don't want to watch it anymore, but like mad in a way like grr,
Yeah. Observing Stuff like the fight between Seth and Murphy. Stone Cold David, some people or storylines aren't going to be advanced or used because of the draft coming up. Supposedly they only have like the top 8 draft moves figured out so far.
Well, sweet.
Well, that's because they have no clue what they're doing. There's no clue as to what they're doing. So that's the biggest issue.
Vince rewrites the script 15 minutes before the show goes on. He's like, no, we're ripping it up. It's over. We're done. Start over. This does not work for
Tribal
me.
Chief says yes.
It's like, okay.
Murphy is going to write Seth off a TV. Yes, I agree. I think that's the way it was going to happen anyway. We kind of saw this coming. I think that, again, when you have no clue, I don't know, Vince can rip up the storylines all he wants to. Everything's the same. It's the same thing every week. And right now it's just kind of dull and nothing's thought out. Nothing, there's like no storylines. Oh, let's let these guys go back out and wrestle again. Okay, whatever. I thought this was very good overall. Yes, it's the same people, but some things are changed up now. Okay. Rollins and Murphy defeat Dominic and Carrillo. Haven't seen that. Oh, yeah, we have. Seth and Murphy backstage, still arguing. Basically, Murphy tells him he has till 10 p.m. Eastern to give him an answer and apologize, or they will be held to pay. If you don't like it, I will break you. This is about the only, and then the Kevin Owens show is about the only thing that I saw that was really, Ali changing. But we kind of, that's not a shock because that was thought of a long time ago. We thought he was going to be the hacker and it was going to come down that way. And then they scrapped the hacker idea and came up with Retribution. So then Seth and Murphy backstage.
At this point in the show, I was like, dude, I swear to you, if they don't involve Aaliyah in this episode of Raw, I'm going to be very, very upset. Moving on.
Yeah. So then Kevin Owens show, he wants to talk to Bray Wyatt. Bray basically tells him, friends are important, and he wants to be friends. And so then Kevin decides he's going to go after Bray.
And that's when, boom, 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 Aleister Black attacks.
And Aleister Black attacks him. So I wonder if Aleister Black's going to be tied into The Fiend somehow.
It would be cool. I'm going to talk more on Bray Wyatt and The Fiend a little bit later when we talk about the draft, because I have some ideas of where I think they're going to go with him and what they're going to do.
The Seth Mysterio feud is really the only thing I'm growing tired of right now because they drug it out too long. And Seth's new gimmick was underutilized overall. Now they have to hurry up and have Seth be wrote off in the coming weeks, you would think. Yeah, I mean, that's just it. He wasn't on the show tonight. Yes, he wasn't on the show. Who's he?
He, The Fiend.
Oh. The Kevin Owens segment was awesome. I thought the Kevin Owens segment was good. I like what they're doing with this. This is a change up from where everything was going. I felt that the other day when they started doing this, I thought it was cool. I like the tie in to back into Aleister Black, which I think is cool.
So we have Charlie Caruso and Drew McIntyre next. There's an interview, and earlier in the show, which
the feed, Mr. G. Yes.
I don't think we really said, but Drew McIntyre.
Sorry, Johnny.
Drew McIntyre. Randy Orton challenged Drew to match at Hell in a Cell, and this is where Drew accepts Randy's challenge for Hell in a Cell, and I'm just kind of like, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I don't want to see this match again. I don't care if it's in Hell in a Cell. It doesn't make a difference to me. Don't care.
Yeah.
Legit, it doesn't make a difference to me. This is stupid to do again unless you're putting the title on Randy Orton. And if you're if they're putting the title on Randy Orton, you should have done it like a month ago at like the last pay-per-view, because this is dumb. I didn't need to see this match again. You know?
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, if Randy wins the title, they're going to do some stupid stuff where they're going to have Drew fight him again. Because
Probably.
Drew's going to be like, I want a rematch. And I'm going to be like, no, stop. I'm putting my foot down. The creative team means nothing. Maven says stop, so you're going to stop. We don't need to see this match a fourth time, okay? It's over.
Or a fifth
time. It's done, Drew. It's done. You've lost the title. Sorry, sucks to be you. Go fight Dolph Ziggler or something. I don't care at this point. We're done.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to become.
James says, Ollie fooled us all as the leader of Retribution. I mean, he fooled us in a sense that, yeah, it was... It didn't really shock me when he was found to be the leader of Retribution. And it's just because they've kind of built that. So it wasn't a total shock. Orton takes the title, I feel pretty sure, at Hayek. And we'll hold it until Edge returns, I think, very possibly. That could happen.
I wouldn't be shocked by that.
We should take over the creative team.
Yeah, we should.
Something needs to happen. Because, this is just like...
Retribution should take over the creative team, because I bet they could come up with something better than this garbage.
So then we get Strowman and Lee in an exhibition match.
What was the purpose of this? Dude, Keith Lee... Alright,
This is not going to count against their...
Take a look here.
This is not going to count against their win-loss.
Oh, because I literally laughed at the screen when they said this. The win-loss records, like it really matters in the first place. Idiots.
Well, it does, because... No, it doesn't.
Okay, so Drew McIntyre, I'm kidding, not Drew McIntyre, Keith Lee. Let's just take a look here. Keith Lee has been on Raw since August 24th. How many of these matches has he actually won? 1?
2.
2. That's it. The rest of them have been disqualifications. So that's 1, 2, 3.
Or no contest.
4. 4 matches and 5, which would be tonight.
Yeah.
He's had 5 matches where there has been no finish to them.
Since when did WWE become AEW?
Are you kidding me, dude? Are you kidding me? Keith Lee's been on Raw for over a month at this point. And he has won 2 matches, and the rest of them have been either DQ or no contest. Are you kidding me? Dude, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This guy went from NXT, being the champion, being undefeated for a while, to now this. Are you kidding me?
Braun and Keith are clearly in a hold pattern right now, I think, because both we've moved in the draft. Braun already has been. I think Keith Lee goes to SmackDown. That's possible. I don't know. I mean, this is just I don't like.
This was dumb. We didn't need to do this.
So it ends up being a count out.
This was dumb.
Yeah. And then they beat each other up afterwards. I will say that the one thing I liked about it is you see a different feud going here.
Dude.
But the issue I have with it is just the way they're promoting it.
You know what I literally don't understand? So, just a couple months ago, right? Mr. Braun Strowman was in a feud with Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt was on the show tonight, and he didn't care. It's like all of that has literally left his mind, and that's it. Like, there's no recollection of the Fiend or anything like that. And I'm just kind of like, why?
I thought the fight was cool. I thought Keith Lee was staying down and coming for Braun next week.
Apparently
yeah, I mean,
not.
Yeah. Again, I don't know. I think this could be a good feud, but who knows? I mean, if they move people around, this was it. Maybe it sounded like Vince being the boss.
So we have Bianca Belair, who apparently is the smartest. These are stupid. What is the purpose? Can you let her wrestle? Is that a possibility?
No, because this is what they did with Mr. Perfect.
So she has done these videos over the last several weeks. She did like running, and she beat out all these dudes. She did something else where she beat out all these people. And tonight it was trivia. And so apparently she's the smartest. And so, yeah. I just want to see her wrestle, guys.
I could be the smartest if you give me the answers.
That's all I want. I just want to see her wrestle. I don't know what we need to like do to get her on TV to wrestle. Yeah. Because she's real talented.
Yeah, I don't understand why they're doing this.
I don't know what this is, and I don't know why we need this. I don't see the purpose.
I mean, if they want to build her up with a promo prior to her like coming out and challenging somebody,
that would be the only thing I could think of, Stone Cold David, is that they're waiting till after the draft to figure out what they're going to do with her, because she might be dropped to SmackDown or might be dropped to Raw. I have no idea.
But why would you wait? I mean, she's one of the, like, if you want to draw like people in, she's one that could do it. That's why I don't understand is why wouldn't you push her and put her out there?
I don't know, because they're stupid.
Because she is one that is good enough to draw people in.
Yep. People want to see her.
Yeah. So I don't understand that. Then we get Drew Gulak hiding backstage. Mm-hmm. And then he is found. Tozawa and R-Truth find him. Because
Tozawa's not dead.
Tozawa just happened to be hiding in a trash can that they were standing by. Like,
alrighty then.
Did he come up through the ground and find him? Like a Ninja Turtle type thing. So the trash can gets knocked over. We find out that Tozawa's in there. Then they get it thrown into a dumpster, and then you see nothing but trash bags flying around. And then the ref goes over and taps 1, 2, 3 on the side of the trash can, and then Truth comes up with the title.
Whoop-de-doopty. So we then have MVP. He's talking in the ring for his tag team match. Well, actually not his tag team match, but Benjamin and Lashley's tag team match. And he says that Ali, Ricochet, and Cruz will never win a match. Or they will win a match now and again, but they'll never win the war. Ricochet comes out and is like, guys, I gotta say something. I'm going to, not join you, psych. So that was that. And then Lashley and Benjamin fought Ricochet and Cruz, and they beat them. And okay then.
She should have already been in the ring on Raw more. They dropped the ball on that. But her doing these weekly vignettes are just to have her seen until after the draft, when she'll then hopefully have an actual direction wherever she lands.
Dude, this makes me so mad because she was moved over to Raw at WrestleMania. That was back
I thought they were going to use her.
April. In all this time, she could have still been on NXT, fighting people down there, still wrestling at least, and they didn't do that. They brought her up to Raw so she could sit on her butt in catering, watching Montez Ford jump off the ropes. Sweet.
Yeah. Truth is now 42-time 24/7 champion. That is nuts. James says, everyone keep my niece in your prayers. Her oxygen level is extremely low due to COVID. Sorry about that, James. We'll be thinking about her. Stone Cold David, they totally whiffed not having Bianca as Zelina feud. I agree. They should have done that. They should have went that route. I mean, if they're going to use Zelina anyway, they should have just went ahead and put her in with Bianca, like, right away. So then we have the Aaliyah and Murphy backstage.
So Aaliyah is essentially like, Murphy, you're not really thinking about telling Seth you're sorry. And Murphy's like,
That scumbag.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
I'm
and
lost.
Lily walks off. And Aaliyah's like,
I don't know what I'm going to do. He's my Messiah and I have no clue.
So that was that. Then we have the Hurt Business backstage. And Ollie comes up and says that he's going to be alone when he goes out there for his match. And he suggests that MVP comes out alone too.
Yes. Which we knew wouldn't happen.
So yeah, that was that. We then have Seth Rollins. And Seth is awaiting Murphy's apology. Murphy comes out and they get in each other's faces. And Seth is like, all you have to do is apologize. All you have to do is apologize, Murphy. All you have to do is apologize. What is taking you so long? I've given you an hour. Apologize already! And finally, Murphy kicks him in the face and then gets a kendo stick, proceeds to beat him down. He lets up and says, apologize. And Seth is like, I apologize. And he's like, no, not to me, to Aaliyah. And so he looks at the camera and Seth is like, I apologize, Aaliyah. I'm so sorry. I apologize. And Murphy then sets the kendo stick down, being an idiot. And Rollins proceeds to beat Murphy down with the kendo stick. And then Aaliyah comes out and is like, stop. Kid you not, she literally did this. She goes, stop, Seth. Stop. Please stop. Stop. I mean, the camera might as well have been zoomed in on her hand. And so she's like, stop, Seth. He's had enough. You've done enough. Please stop. So, then Dominic comes out, and I was so mad at Dominic. I was like, you fool. Leave her alone. And so Dominic comes out and is like, Aaliyah, let's go. Let's go, Aaliyah. Let's go. And I'm like, dude! Okay. She is 19 years old. Leave her alone! Dude, she can make her own decisions. If she wants to sit there with Murphy, leave her be. You're just a jerkwad, and you need to go away. I literally dislike you so much. And the rest of the Mysterio family. You are literally overreacting way too much. Stop! Jeez. So that made me a little mad. And I kind of really don't like Dominic. Because Dominic is just kind of annoying. I'm just like, dude! Calm your face. Let her do what she wants to do. If she thinks it's a good idea, good. If you think it's a bad idea, well, guess what? Your opinion doesn't really matter. So...
No one cares what you think.
Go away! Like, seriously, that's kind of at the point where I am with Dominic. Because he's done this the last couple weeks with Aaliyah, and he's been all like, Aaliyah, don't look at him, look at me. Look at Dad. Look what he did to Dad's eye.
He poked it out.
And I'm like, dude, technically Murphy didn't poke out your father's eye. It was Seth. Okay? So stop. Leave her alone. Let her make her own decisions. Okay? Loser. Sorry. That was probably a little loud.
Loser.
He's such a loser.
Such a loser. Observing says that fight was cool between them. Yes. James will be back. He's going to get some grapes. We'll be here, James. Murphy beat him with the kendo stick and messed him up. I wouldn't want that person talking to my sister.
See, but the thing is, people need to make their own decisions, okay? And if Aaliyah thinks that he's not that bad, well then, okay. Dominic and Ray and Angie can have their thoughts, okay? But, like, Aaliyah has to make her own decisions. And if she's gonna mess up, then, like, that's her fault. So, like, please. Leave her alone, because right now you're just straight up annoying, and it makes me really hate your guts, okay? It makes me want to slap you upside the head into next Tuesday. So, just stop. Stop.
John Elite says Murphy said the same line about the Seth thing, getting carried away. Stone Cold David Ricochet will join Hurt Business. And now I think Apollo will now, too, after Ali was uncovered as the leader of Retribution. That is possible. That would not shock me. Scott says thoughts on Paige getting a lawyer. She started following someone today who is a lawyer in unionizing. Thoughts of union in WWE.
Like, Paige literally put out a tweet. What did she say?
I don't know. I think you need something, because I don't think that they should be able to sit there and tell you that you can't. If they're going to be, like, independent contractors, then they need to have some sort of protection.
Paige put this tweet out. She said, learned a lot about unionism today.
Yeah. So I think that there needs to be some protection for the wrestlers, and if it requires having a union to do it, then I guess that's the way you have to go. I don't think there's anything that, that there's any other way around.
And Zelina Vega underneath was like,
This Mysterio Rollins feud needs to end. Please send the Mysterios back to TNA, Scott says. And Joni Lee says Dominic Aaliyah can make her own choices. Let her do what she was doing, in the words of The Rock. It doesn't matter what you think.
Exactly. That's kind of where I'm at in this point of the storyline. It's like, Dominic, back off, dude. Back off.
Maven versus Vince at WrestleMania 2021. The ARC. They're booking you right now. I think. And
then hand me Dominic Mysterio, because I want to beat the crap out of him too.
The only thing about this Seth and Murphy thing is, unless they change it up, because Seth's leaving. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's pretty obvious where they're going with this. Unless they do something different and, like, totally throw a curveball in there. Mm-hmm. I don't know that it's... I don't know that you can do anything other than where they're headed with this. I mean, but it's pretty obvious where it's going if they stick with what I think is going to happen. And probably what a lot of people think is going to happen.
So if a person beats you up with kendo sticks and helps Seth take out your dad's eye, you would let them talk to a family member of yours? Lol. Okay, would I like it? No. But I can keep my opinions to myself. I can, like, tell them. I can be like, okay, I don't like this person. But, like, if they're kind of an adult, then they can make their own decisions and talk to whoever they want to talk to. I'm not going to be all like, don't talk to them, So, Dominic needs to calm down. I mean, when he, gets all like, let's go, Aaliyah. Get out of the ring, Aaliyah. Go, Aaliyah. That's when I'm like, dude, knock it off, bro. Stop.
Yeah.
Jeez, oh, flip.
Scott says, fans chant, fight forever. Vince. Mysterio vs. Rollins will fight forever.
So that's my take on that observing
Jody, Dominic, if I see you again with Aaliyah, I'm going to punch you in the face. Smack dab in the middle of the face. So I'm going to punch you in the nose.
Oh, man.
Would have been just easier to say I'm going to punch you in the nose. They need to unionize, but then what may WWE do to screw them for trying it, or if they do it? The independent contractor tag always makes me laugh and in disgust. Wouldn't that term mean WWE couldn't hold them to being exclusive talents to WWE? That's what I said. Unless now the contract, I suppose, could state that. First off, I would never sign the Twitch deal. Like, I would never sign the you can't be on Twitch or anything else as another name or whatever the case may be. And I don't know, has Paige been on since the second? Has Zelina Vega and
I don't know.
Well,
I have a question. So WWE has been like, oh, if they don't follow our rules, we can fire them. Okay, so what are you gonna do? How do you justify that? Like, if they haven't signed the Twitch contract, if they're like independent contractors, how the heck are you gonna take this? Like, if these people unionize and then they're like, oh, sorry, we're firing you, how the heck are they gonna justify that in a court of law and be like, we fired them because they were doing things on their own time?
Yeah,
how can you do that?
I don't see.
How can you justify what was your reason for firing them outside of they were streaming on Twitch on their own time, and it just made us angry. So
Scott says Dominic needs to get stone cold stunned a lot of times.
Yes.
Stone Cold yeah, there's no way many talents sign new deals with that Twitch, etc. part. Yeah, I don't understand why you would sign it. I would just tell them, nope, not doing it.
Sorry. Nothing says dating material like brutally assaulting people.
That's right.
Okay, but also, are they really doing this whole angle of like... I mean, I know that's where a lot of people think this is going, with Aaliyah and Murphy being, like, romantically involved, but we've seen none of that. It's been more so from the standpoint of, like, he's not, like, Seth, Dad, and that's it. So, they could just be buddies.
Scott still questions the motivation of Andrew Yang. Why does he care so much? I think
it's just about wrestling, though. I think it's in general. I think he's focusing on this because wrestling is something that he cares about and that he's watched since he was a kid.
Big.
And he notices that this is happening because this is something that he pays attention to and this is something that he's invested in, in watching and paying attention to and stuff. So I feel like that's kind of his motivation behind it of, like, getting involved in it to begin with. But I don't think it's just about the wrestling aspect of it. I think it's just in general because wrestling is not the only place that is doing this. It's everywhere.
Well, plus the fact I think that because wrestling is mainstream, you know, if he said, okay, I want to push, and I don't even know what else he does, independent contractors, but whatever the case may be, then, you know, it's not going to draw as much attention as if he focuses on trying to get the change in WWE with the independent contractors.
And like I said, it's not just in WWE though. It's all over the place. And so it's not just affecting the wrestlers. Yeah. You know, it's in other places too. And so I think it needs to be dealt with as a whole. And if he's kind of the person that can sort of get this, you know, to be brought up with other people to kind of take a look at it, you know, as a whole and kind of get this changed so this stuff doesn't happen, then I don't see anything wrong with that.
Yeah. James says, I am back, guys. Do y'all think they will call up Dakota and Raquel?
No.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think that's happening.
Yeah, not happening. Sorry, James. The new Twitch third-party add-on to new contracts will be what finally pushes even more to AEW. I agree. I think that the ones that want to do the Twitch things or, you know, those types of things outside of wrestling, I think you will see them go to other organizations where they can, because you can make a lot of money off of Twitch, YouTube, doing those things if you dedicate the time, and they could probably make enough money that they could get somewhere close to what they're making now.
Scott, question on the Andrew Yang thing. Why shouldn't Andrew Yang care about this?
Yeah.
I mean, why should lots of people not care about what's happening with this? Because this is a big deal, and it's not just, you know, like one specific place. It's all over. So why should we not care about it? It should be talked about more, and more people should pay attention to it. It should be put out there in how do I want to say this? In a different way. Or, like, I guess just people should talk about it more because it is happening. And so, you know, I think people need to be more aware of this so that laws can get changed so this isn't the case anymore. You know? Because it's not protecting their people. So, that would kind of be my question is why shouldn't we care about this, you know? Or why shouldn't Andrew Yang care about this, you know? I don't know. That would just be.
Murphy Aaliyah wedding angle coming soon. I hope not. Definitely hope not.
I hope not.
Do y'all remember Sarah Stock, a trainer with WWE, got arrested for assault? She got let go to...
This past April.
Yeah. I just question why you care so much. You should care, but how is he actually affected by it?
Well, maybe he knows people that are affected by it. I mean, so...
If he knows people that
that's
have, like...
kind of why... And even if he doesn't, like
again,
I said, why
more,
shouldn't we talk about it?
It's more than just about... I think it's more than just... And he's even stated that it's more than just about, like, WWE. It's about independent contractors. If you're going to have claim someone's an independent contractor, then there should be some protection there for that person. If you're going to expect them to carry their own insurance, carry everything else, then there should be some protection for them. Even, you shouldn't be able to dictate what they do in their life.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like more people should talk about it, and kind of make it a bigger deal so then it gets taken care of and laws get changed and things get fixed so it's, not legal to do some of the things that are happening right now because some of them are just, quite frankly, it's like baffling what WWE is trying to do. It's completely and utterly ridiculous what WWE is trying to do. And like I said, it's not just WWE. There are other companies that are doing this too.
Yeah.
So I think it just needs to be changed across the board.
Yeah. I agree. Then we get Nia Jackson and Shayna Baszler versus the Riot Squad. Shania versus the Riot Squad.
Yes.
And I thought this was a decent match. I think this is kind of your next step to, the Riot Squad is kind of the team that was going to be facing them next. I mean, the tag team division is terrible. So I don't know where you go with it. So it's like, I think Jackson Baszler should just throw the titles in the trash and just say, hey, we don't like each other. We're just going our own ways. Then we get Street Profits. By the way, I'm glad that Ric Flair is now a designer and is making outfits for the Street Profits. That's pretty cool. I don't know if anybody else is really concerned about that, but I think it's pretty cool that...
What?
Huh?
What?
I don't know if anybody else is really concerned about this, but I think it's pretty cool that Ric Flair is making outfits for the Street Profits.
Oh.
I think it's awesome. Ric Flair's found a job at 95.
When the talent have watched and heard that Vince has made hundreds of millions of dollars in profits in a worldwide pandemic, not having paying fan crowds, and now he's trying to cut them into finding non-WWE sources of income, they've got to be saying, oh, hell nah. Time to leave this greedy, selfish mofo.
I agree. I think because they have made the profits they've made. But if you look at business across the board, like the big businesses across the board,
they've all made so much money.
Yeah, the big businesses have made a lot of money during the pandemic.
It's like, what?
And that's why, when we talk about stocks and things like that, it's the rich guys that are dealing with the stocks. And like when the president got sick and you saw stocks take a nosedive, it's because they were like, oh crap, this guy backs us and now we could be in a serious hurt here. And so you see the stocks drop, and then he gets out of the hospital today, and you start to see the stocks, or he announces that he's going to get out of the hospital, and you start to see the stocks go up. Well, there's a connection there. Wonder why. Trump got Schultz. That's funny. The Skittles commercial was hilarious. Has Andrew Yang talked about other companies doing this too? He's singling out WWE. Just feel he's looking for every reason to crap on WWE, like most others too. What WWE is doing is wrong, but people crap on WWE because it's the cool thing to do. I don't think he spoke out specifically about other things. Like I said, I think the reason he speaks out about WWE
it's something he pays
is because he pays attention to it, but it's also what a lot of other people pay attention to. If he goes and says, the hospital down the street has independent contractor doctors that aren't protected, and I'm going to help them out, and I'm going to go back them. Yeah, nobody's going to go, oh, right, good job, go for that. Where WWE is worldwide, people know who WWE is. He has a better chance of trying to get things changed through going after WWE rather than going after, some no-name that nobody's ever heard of.
Yeah.
James says, do you all remember Jimmy Wang Yang?
Yeah, we watched a video of him being a terrible wrestler earlier today. It was actually quite funny. It's really funny. The care food to cut. The care food to cut. Nope. Can't speak.
Care food to clutch. Should be banned.
Yeah.
That's not as bad as the arm stomp. The arm stomp, if you step on that wrong,
yikes.
I think you're going to hurt somebody's arm bad. Yeah. They made $500 million of profits during the whole time they've had no crowds Last I heard. Yeah, I mean, it made a huge amount of money.
Ridiculous. How have they made that?
Huge amount. The orange arse was totally wheezing and sucking wind, standing there trying to look like a tough guy.
Yeah, definitely. I guarantee as soon as he stepped in the building, they had oxygen sitting there waiting for him so he could be all like...
They had a chair waiting for him. Here's your seat, sir.
Ah, man.
If I'm anybody at the White House, I'm going, no, I'm not coming back. I'll see you in 10 days.
Or never again.
Well, yeah, I would say that too, because... But I'd be like, no,
Don't think
sorry,
so.
not playing your game.
Don't think so. Don't think so.
Homie, don't play that.
Nope. So, Jackson Baszler defeated the Riot Squad, and I'm just kind of like, okay, whatever. At this point, it doesn't make a difference. But, like, I wish that Shayna and Baszler, I wish that Shayna
and Baszler.
I wish
you do that all the time.
I wish that I do.
Like, all the time you do that.
I always do that, especially with Shayna. I do that with her name, and I don't get it. Shayna and Baszler.
That idiot Trump took his mask off as soon as he left the Walter Reed Hospital. What a moron. Yes, I agree.
So, Jackson Baszler. That's what I was trying to talk about here. I think that I want them to split up so we can do some single stuff.
Yeah.
But I think they're doing a really good job as a tag team.
I like them as a tag team. The issue is there's just not enough tag teams out there.
Well, and also I think that Asuka kind of needs some people to fight, and I don't think Mandy Rose is the right option right now. So I think that we need to do this instead.
I agree. So. Street Profits backstage promo. They don't like Randy Orton. That's what it boiled down to.
So that's that.
We don't like you, Randy Orton. Okay.
Yeah,
so
we don't like you, Randy Orton.
Yeah. Definitely.
Don't think so. So we then have MVP versus Mustafa Ali. And the match is happening, and we get about not even halfway through the match. And, you know, Retribution comes
This is
out.
Stone Cold David says, I still don't believe he has COVID. I think it's pneumonia, and that this is a stunt to try and gain sympathy. My final thought in the political arena for the night. That is possible. I will have something to say at the end of the show.
Ooh, as Mr. G always does. A Mr. G rant about Mr. President Cheeto? I would have never guessed. Can't wait for that. It's going to be epic. So you should stick around to watch it. Because it'll be good.
Yeah.
I guarantee it. So anyways, Retribution shows up. And they surround the ring. And Ollie is like... Because earlier in the show... The Hurt Business had given the offer to one of the three guys that was, you know, there in whatever, the Cruz, Ricochet, Ali situation people, them. He was like, we need somebody else. And so, Ali was in this match, and he says, all right, I'm in. So he gets out of the ring and gets, you know, he's in front of Mace and T-Bar, and he's like this big, and they're all like, ah! And so he then smiles, turns around, and says, get him. And I go, that's epic. That was really freaking cool. So they proceed to beat down the Hurt Business. This was genius. I actually really like this, and I'm really excited to see what Ollie does with this. So Ollie then gets in the ring, and they do this. So Ollie's standing in front. I'm going to be Ollie. You pretend to be the people behind me. So Ollie gets here, and they're all like this. And he puts his hand up, like the light thing.
Wait.
Ollie puts his hand up, and then he does a fist, okay? Dude, this was literally like Dark Order, and I was literally dying. I was like, no. They did not just rip them off. They did not just do that, but I think they did.
Can I take my mask off now?
Yeah, go ahead. You can take your mask off. You don't need it anymore.
Good.
But that wasn't really an accurate representation of the Retribution mask. It's more of this.
Oh, sorry.
Because it's not really that good of a mask. I mean, you can pretty much see right through it, so... Yeah, I don't know, dude. I'm really excited to see what Ollie does with this. I think throughout Ollie's entire career, he's been, well, at least with WWE, he's been very much so a babyface. That's the way they've treated him. They haven't really given him much outside of that. And so I'm excited to see what he can do with this. It's kind of sort of like Bayley, where a lot of us were like, I don't know if she can do it. I don't know if this is going to work for her. But I feel like Ollie's going to really knock it out of the park. And I think it's going to be good. So I'm excited to see. what he does with this. Got anything to add?
You know, talking about Bayley and like heel turns and things like that. I think the best heel turn I've seen is Alexa Bliss.
Okay. That's not what I thought
You were going to say Britt Baker.
Yeah, I was.
Alexa Bliss's heel turn has been awesome. I felt that like when she would do like her promos as a face, it just seemed like fake. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And what she's done with this, it's been amazing. I think that when she's doing her promos, it's like she's being serious about it, you know? And so it's cool watching her do what she's doing. Because like tonight, you know, or the other night, Friday night, when she was talking to Kevin Owens, you know, it was like, Kevin, you just don't know what it feels like to, like, once he's touched you, it's your life changes. And it sounded sincere and like a real, like, feeling. Mm-hmm. Whereas a lot of her like her show, A Moment of Bliss. Well, do you think that you should be the champion? Okay, quit reading the script. All right, just like talk.
Yeah, I get it.
This Bliss turn has been incredible. It has. I mean, that's the awesome thing. John Elite says, Vince, I challenge you to a match at WrestleMania, but not just any match. No. I challenge you to a no-holds-barred match. If you win, you can keep your WWE. But if I win, you hand over the company to me, and I will make it my yard. And there will be nothing that Steph, Shane, nor Hunter can do about it.
Epic promo, dude.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. You had a little bobble there where you messed up.
Well, I'm trying to read. I was like trying to look at the camera, but I got the reading down here, and I'm like trying to read what he had here.
I don't need notes to cut my promos. Mine just flow naturally.
Well, yeah, but when you're trying to read what someone's like put up, you probably have to like look down and go, okay.
I mean, probably, yeah.
So, you know.
Probably.
Give me a chance to practice it.
Sorry, dude.
I'll nail it.
So yeah, Ali is a leader of Retribution. That's
Yes.
kind of what I got from this. Is that he's a leader, and that's what WWE's Twitter was making it sound like. Is that Retribution is the leader, and I'm kind of like, okay, I'm not mad at that.
I would agree.
So
John Lee says he loved Alexa's turn. Stone Cold David Bliss heel turn has much more seamless from the start compared to Bayley's. Bayley took a good month or so to finally get comfortable in it and not be overshadowed by Sasha. I agree.
Well, see, Alexa has done heel work before, and she's played a really good heel before. So none of this is really shocking to me because she is really good at being the bad guy.
Because that's the way she is in real life.
That's the way. Well,
you don't ever talk to me like that again.
That's the way it's been, like, for her entire WWE career. I feel like she's just done a really great job.
Being a heel.
Being a heel, yeah. I think that's been some of her best work. So, you know, I don't know. So we have the main event of Raw. I'm sure we all really want to talk about this.
Orton, Rude, Ziggler,
versus
McIntyre, and Ric Flair's new friends, the Street Profits.
This is dumb. I didn't care for this. Didn't really pay much attention to it. So Orton, Rude, and Ziggler won. Okay.
Yes.
Great. I don't care.
Yes. I agree.
It doesn't make a difference to me.
No. This is a match that, I mean, it's an okay match. It's just one of those things that in the storyline, it's like, why?
I literally don't know.
Let's just throw 4 new guys in there although I do think this is going to lead to Rude and Ziggler winning the titles. I shared the show, guys. Thanks, James.
It's probably going to lead to
That's what I think is going to happen.
Probably.
Because I heard rumors that Rude wanted to leave, and I'm sure that Vince said, hey, if you stick around, we'll give you a title.
Which is so stupid.
Please.
I literally don't understand that. It's like,
if
why
you
would
stick
you
around,
use that as
we'll give
leverage?
you a title.
Because nobody cares, dude. It doesn't mean anything to be a tag team champion on WWE TV at this point. So it's like, Why do you need to do that? It's dumb.
Stone Cold David, yes, Bliss has been healed before, but this heel turn and gimmick is a total change from anything she has done. This was just the usual way to mesh two feuds into one match. Yes, I mean...
They did that earlier in the show with the
which is
Mandy
stupid.
Rose, Natalia.
Yeah.
Asuka's
I don't like it. The match was cool. I like seeing Rude get beat up.
Dude, the only thing I think of when I look at Rude now at this point is like the stupid crap with Roman Reigns.
He's got one of the best entrances, though.
He does, but they really screwed him up since
they did. But I mean, he's got one of the best entrances.
I mean, when he was on NXT, it was great, and I really loved.
You know what I'd like to see him do?
NXT stuff, but now it's just kind of like blah blah blah.
You know
what? Not loving it.
You know what I'd like to see him do?
What?
I'd like to see him go to AEW. And think about where do you think he would fit in AEW?
The librarian gimmick.
No.
Okay. Well, that's just what I thought of at first because of his robe. I don't know. MJF?
Nope.
The four horsemen, Tully Blanchard?
He's built just like the FTR. He kind of has a similar wrestling style.
Yeah.
He would fit in, I think, as a four horseman.
Yeah, I could see that. I wouldn't be mad at
that. Scott says WWE tweeted a video that Aleister Black wants another match with Kevin Owens next week on Raw. Yes, I'm not shocked by that. They botched Rude's gimmick so bad. The Glorious gimmick could have been awesome on the main roster. It could have been. They were just dumb.
But they messed it up.
Yes. Vince is a blackmailer. There's a lot of those guys that are rich or that way. So yeah, that doesn't shock me.
So that was Raw. It was okay.
That was Raw.
It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't that great either.
I gave it a 3 out of 10 stars.
Wow, that's harsh. Yeah. I would give it 5 out of 10 stars.
I like the Ali thing, but it wasn't a total shock.
I would give it a 5. I don't think it was that bad, honestly.
The Ali thing wasn't a total shock. I mean, I guess I don't know. Again, the Ali thing wasn't a total shock. That's what I'll say about that. Kevin Owens. The best part about this was the Kevin Owens and Bray Wyatt feud going on. I think that's the best part about this show.
Bobby Roode's first feud on the main roster killed his career. Who is his first feud against? It's bad that I don't know. I don't remember.
I'd give it a 0.9 out of 10.
Bobby Roode's
See, Scott's giving a little lower than me. I don't usually go that low. Like 3, that's probably the lowest rating I've given any show.
Like ever.
At WrestleMania, I will beat you. Oh, here we go. Should I do it?
Yes.
All right. Do you want me to do this as a promo, Johnny Lee? Is that what you're looking at? Is like...
Yes.
No. I mean... All right. At WrestleMania, I will beat you with the 3 most destructive letters in sports entertainment. The RKO. Pin you in the middle of the ring. 1, 2, 3. And you can kiss your WWE goodbye. And the whole world will know that a 23-year-old Filipino kid just beat a McMahon senseless with no remorse. And that's not a prediction. That's a spoiler.
Top notch, dude. Top notch.
Thanks, man.
Top notch.
It's my promo to Vince.
So.
Well, that was my promo to you, Johnny Lee, and I was like sending it back to you.
People.
Last year, Hell in a Cell was a 0.9 out of 10.
Wow.
I'd give this Raw an 8. Yes. So observing stuff loved this Raw. I wasn't a huge fan of this Raw.
I would give it a 5.
Yeah, I'm at the 3. Rate my promos.
promos.
You want me to rate them as you wrote them, or you want me to rate them as I said them?
Probably,
because as you wrote them, I'm going to give them a 3. As I said them, a 10. I'm kidding. Those are actually...
Wow, that was so harsh!
Those are pretty good, actually. I think they're pretty good. I would say probably... I'd give them... It all depends on how you say them.
Maybe a 7 or 8.
I would give them... If you say them really good, I would probably give you a 9. But if you, don't say them real good, I'm going to give you a 4. And anything in between, is just going to be fall anywhere in between.
Fall anywhere. Oh, wait. That's how I found this channel. It's almost been a year. Wow, seems like a few months ago since I found this channel.
I know.
Yeah.
And look, you stuck.
Hell in a Cell of last year was a dumpster fire. The Fiend and Seth Rollins, that was last year, right?
Yeah.
And everybody was so mad about it, and we got so many people that came to our chat and were like, there are people burning things. And I was like, what? I wasn't very happy about it.
The way you read them. Well, the way I read them, that was a 10.
Oh, it's Give Me a Hole Yeah podcast. What's up, dudes? What's up, Aunt? How's it going?
You missed my promo, Aunt.
Man, you'll have to...
Actually, it was Johnny Leet's promo.
You should just say a promo.
I was just doing the promo for him.
You should make your own promo.
No, I did.
No, but you should, because it would be epic.
No, this was...
You're going to cut a promo on Mr. President here in just a second, right?
Well, it's not going to be a promo. I'm just going to state facts.
Well, okay, but it can be a...
The Fiend and Seth Rollins was the greatest Hayek of all time, wasn't it?
Wait a minute, is that Dom? I don't think that's Ant. I'm pretty sure it's Dom. Because that is something only Dom would say.
Hayek last year was a minus 100 for Johnny Lee. Yes, I had to find people to complain to, and now I am still here.
Man.
Is the Fiend working with Aleister Black? I do not know if he is. I think it'd be cool.
Yeah,
I think there's probably going to be some sort of connection. I would like to see a connection in there.
Before you talk about Fools, I wanted to talk about the draft. So with the draft, it's sarcasm.
Definitely ain't.
So I wanted to talk about the draft, since we kind of have that coming up here in the next...
I had less typos back then.
Since we have that coming up next week. So I think that Fiend is being drafted to Raw. I feel like that's been made abundantly clear. I think that's what's happening because I think they're going to keep Randy Orton on Raw, and I think they're going to do the Fiend versus Randy Orton for the next, I don't know how long, and I think it'll be a really good feud. And if that's the case, I think that Randy Orton will win the title at... What's the pay-per-view? Hell in a Cell. That's what I think will happen there. And then they will do The Fiend and Bray Wyatt versus Orton. I think that's what they're going to do. I think Roman is staying on SmackDown. Because I think that SmackDown just wants Roman. I think that Fox wants Roman. And I think that they're going to keep him on that show. I don't think he's moving anywhere. In fact, I think that Roman is going to be the first pick for SmackDown. That's what I think. And I think then The Fiend is going to be like one of the first picks for Raw. If not the first pick. Because I don't know who outside of that would be a first pick on Raw. Besides The Fiend.
You got sources for that?
No. But
Ant agrees.
The sources in
100%.
my head. I have sources.
Observing Stuff says, I also think Fiend is going to Raw. Why Fiend versus Orton? Nothing against it. I'm just curious.
Well, Bray Wyatt and Orton have a past.
Yes.
They have a history.
Yes.
So I think it just makes sense to do that. So I would say Fiend and Orton.
Johnny Lee asks the question, Mr. G, what is the difference between the shows CSI and NCIS?
I have no idea. I've never seen either.
I know exactly what the difference is. One letter. There is a one-letter difference between CSI and NCIS.
Yeah, if they want to do a crazy versus insane match with Bray versus Randy would work. Because Fiend and Orton have history with... Because... I think... Is that supposed to say friend? Because friend. Orton has history with Bray. Or maybe it's supposed to say Fiend. I don't know. The big Bray feuds have all been based on past Bray feuds. I know what you're saying there. I got it. I think I just totally read it wrong, though. So, yeah. I think that they could do that, and that would be pretty cool. I think...
Correct, Observing Stuff. N is the
That's
difference.
right.
That's the one letter.
Roman is going to build a stable, the Bloodline Reigns, the Usos, possibly others. I think that might be a possibility, maybe, but I also think it's going to be Reigns versus the family, so I think if that's the case, then Uso and Uso are staying on SmackDown.
That'd be cool. The whole Bloodline thing.
Yeah.
What do you think about All with Retribution?
Well, I don't think Retribution has been built up that well. I haven't loved everything that they've done, but I think, like, I really liked when they did the stuff on SmackDown, like when they first showed up and they like ripped the ring apart. I think that was pretty cool. But you know, outside of that, they've just kind of done like goofy things, like breaking windows and stuff. And it's like, dude, you're not really taken seriously as like this group that's trying to rip everybody to shreds if you're just, you know, breaking the glass window. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think I think the one thing about it is I like the whole idea behind Retribution, the whole idea of having them come in. I don't like what they've done with them. Like when they took over, like
when they revealed them, that was pretty awful.
Yeah.
I mean, they just like literally walked out and were like, "We are Retribution," and I was just kind of like, "What? Excuse me?"
Well, the thing is they like the whole idea behind having them out there and what they've done has just been silly. Like they took over the show once,
Very silly.
and then they you know, after they took over the show, they didn't really do anything with it. Like they took the show over, like went into the truck and like had
It's like, what are you doing?
yeah,
They
I mean,
took over
it
the
was
truck
like,
and they didn't do
and then they
anything.
didn't do anything with it.
Nothing. It's like, what are you doing?
Will Retribution ever be without masks? I think somewhere down the road you may see it, but as of right now, no.
So that was a question that somebody asked earlier, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know if they will ever go without the masks. I think a lot of people have complained about them and are like, they aren't that great. And I'm like, okay. I do think that they need to be like a little bit tighter because I feel like they're falling off their faces and they're not staying in the right spot. But, you know, it's, I don't know.
Let's see here. As soon as I heard typo, I assumed it was me. Not this time. Observing Steph just hears typo and he goes, all right, I got to go back and read what I wrote. Pretzel Hunter, that sounds like a Retribution name to me. Yes, that'd fit on perfectly.
Murphy's face turn.
Definitely. Your sleepy is definitely worse than mine, but same here. Murphy face turn. I think he's going to have to be just because Seth is leaving. And he'll be gone for a while.
I think so.
I think that's how they're going to take Seth off of the show. Retribution is Aces and Eights 2.0. Yeah. Again, I think a lot depends on what they do with it. It's like, if they do something with it, then, you know. I really enjoyed the show tonight. Not seeing Raw. Said that about Raw for a while.
Jeez, dude, read the comments.
Sorry, man. It's like moving on me. It's like,
wow.
and I didn't like it.
I didn't think it was
I gave
bad.
it a 3 out of 10 stars.
I didn't think it was bad, but it wasn't like...
Have you all decided the movie for the watch-along? We have not yet. We are going to probably do the watch-along on the 17th. I believe that's a Saturday.
17th of October.
Yes. 17th of this month, we'll do the watch-along.
Calendars.
We just, as we get closer to time, we'll talk about the movie and I'll let you know.
Scary things.
They won't let them all go without the mask. Masks make them more forgettable when WWE decides who they want to stay and who to let go. Good Murphy versus Heel Black in the future. Possible. Observing Stuff did like it too. No doubt about it. He liked it. Observing has a point. Well, it would die Djokovic's ceiling bin without a gimmick. Oh, they could have gave him something. I mean, they could have done something with him.
I mean, he was kind of he kind of hit the ceiling when he was in NXT.
Now
you know?
he's just.
I feel like.
Now he's T-Bar.
Yeah, so Dominic Dijakovic is no more.
Or T-Bone.
But I feel like
whatever.
he hit his glass ceiling in NXT. I think towards the end there. I mean, they were really just running Keith Lee versus Dijak several times. You know, in the time span of a month. And it's like, dude, I mean, they have really great matches. They're really, really good. And I love them. And their matches were epic. But I don't know. I feel like he's kind of gotten to the point where he hit his ceiling. And he's not going to get any higher than that. I feel like they made it very clear that he wasn't going to go after the NXT Championship or anything like that. He got a shot at the North American title, but they never pulled the trigger and put it on him, which I think was a mistake. So I think he'd already hit his ceiling there. So I feel like he's not going to get much better than this on Raw,
Johnny Elite takes it back. He's going to give it a 4 out of 10 and not 5 out of 10.
Yikes.
Something happened between the time he wrote Raw tonight. Is it 5 out of 10? And the time he wrote, no, I take that back. I give it a 4. Not sure what happened. I'm excited for KO versus Fiend this week. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
It is a match. It's on Friday, draft night.
The only thing is
so that's
why don't they build that for
It's the Fiend's first. It's the Fiend's first match on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Ever.
You mean on Raw?
No, on SmackDown.
Oh, that's right. It's Friday.
It's on SmackDown.
Yeah.
This Friday.
Yeah.
During the draft.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. So, yeah, we are getting that.
Last year Fiend on top. Now Roman's on top. Yes, the Fiend shouldn't even be champion anyway. Ever.
I don't think he should be champion ever, but I'm not in love with the stuff that they're doing with Roman right now. I really am not a huge Roman fan. I don't really love what Roman is, doing. I just don't like Roman. I'm not a Roman fan. I think that some of the stuff that he's done with Jay has been cool. I think that, this was kind of a fun thing. But I don't want to see the Jay and Roman thing again.
First ever match on TV, period.
Yeah, that's what it is. So, yeah. 8 out of 10 for me.
Yes.
Wow. I said 5 out of 10. I said 5 out of 10. Mr. T said 3 out of 10.
Braun. I was reading James' message and then he retracted it.
Oh, man.
Fiend's first ever match on TV.
So do you have anything to say about the draft? Like, do you have any draft picks on who you think's going to be first and who you think's not going to be first?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
No, I don't care.
Okay, but can you give me some picks?
No, I don't care.
Okay, but I need
Dumbest thing ever.
But I need some picks, dude.
It's stupid.
But I need some picks.
I am.
Can you tell me?
I'm taking Little Jimmy as number 1.
Okay.
I'm taking anybody else as number 2.
Alrighty.
Number 3, I think should be Who Cares?
I think AJ goes to Raw. I wouldn't be shocked by that. I feel like it's gonna go. I feel like that's gonna happen.
Braun versus Keith at Hell in a Cell, yes. Drew versus Orton, yes, because we haven't seen that yet.
I really don't want to see that match again. I don't want to see it again.
I don't know that.
I'm over it. I don't need to see it again.
Yeah, I don't think it's.
Good.
Don't think it's important. Gilbert is number 1. LeBron is going to Raw. Yes, he should. I agree with that.
Who else?
The draft, I don't care about it.
Gilbert?
SmackDown
is number 1.
I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's all like...
Alright, so I think what Gimme a Julia is trying to say is SmackDown is the first pick for SmackDown. And SmackDown is being drafted to SmackDown. That's what I'm getting from these comments.
Yeah.
Is that SmackDown is being drafted to SmackDown.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine AJ not being drafted to Raw. I think he's gonna go back to Raw. I think he's pretty much done on
and with the first pick
on SmackDown
in the 2020.
I mean, he won the title.
WWE draft. Raw takes AJ Styles.
I think that AJ's kind of done everything he can do on SmackDown at this point.
The draft doesn't really matter. You're correct. The draft doesn't matter because the week after the draft, they'll have people moving around anyway.
My entry key isn't adding the paragraph. Dudes.
I hate it when that happens.
SmackDown.
What championship should The Fiend go after next? I think he should go after the Ultimate Scary Championship.
I don't think that...
He should go after being the Elite Championship.
I don't think that The Fiend should go after a championship. I think the Universal and WWE titles switch brand. I don't. I think Drew McIntyre is going to stay where he is, and I think Roman is going to stay where he is. I don't think the titles are going to switch. I think that they're going to stay the same. And if Bray Wyatt gets drafted to Raw, I think Bliss is going to go with him.
Yes. Dana versus Asuka would be great. Yeah, James, in like some other reality world.
I want to see Sasha drafted to Raw.
Bray will be on Raw with Bliss, no doubt about it. I think AJ will go face when he goes to Raw. I can see that happening too. Has AJ won the tag titles yet?
Don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think he will.
I think Samoa Joe could go to SmackDown and get back to wrestling and may end up joining a Reigns stable. I can see that'd be an interesting thing to do too. Only issue is you've got to have enough wrestlers to have like a stable to have them fight.
Yeah.
Didn't we get Dana tonight?
We did.
Yes, we tried to forget about it.
We did. Yeah, that was epic.
Yes.
We don't need to see that again. I'm good.
I'm just waiting to see James go off.
I
what?
don't need that.
You sheeple.
The Fiend has his own title. It looks like a piece of a Halloween costume.
Yeah.
Man, that's funny. Alistair's never gotten a title.
Since NXT.
Since NXT, yeah. He had a title in NXT. He was NXT champion. I think that was a really good run.
Asuka needs some competition. Yeah, well, I think they need to do something.
Asuka does need some competition.
Yeah.
Like real bad.
Yes.
Like real bad. Asuka needs competition.
Samoa Joe could go to SmackDown, get back to wrestling, and may end up joining. Oh, yeah, I already read that. I don't need to read that again. It's like deja vu.
So, what would you think about Bray Wyatt and Aleister Black tag team?
That'd be interesting.
I don't hate the idea. I think that they need to tie in Aleister
How would you?
somehow.
So here's the question: how would you tie the Fiend into that?
Yeah, that would be my one question. Is I don't know how we tie in.
Would he control both of them?
I don't know how we tie in Aleister Black to the Fiend, just because I don't think they've really had any interaction. But I mean, I suppose they could make it work because Seth had an interaction with the Fiend, and then Aleister had an interaction with Seth, and so that kind of changed him. So maybe it's sort of like a chain reaction thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Bayley and Sasha must be split apart. Sasha Bianca feud absolutely needs to happen. It would be awesome, and I think those two would even make a great tag team.
Yeah,
yes,
I'm hoping that Sasha goes to Raw and Bayley stays on SmackDown, or vice versa.
The only issue I have about tag teams is I don't feel that the tag team division is like strong. So, yeah. Champion versus champion, Reigns versus McIntyre. I think it'd be a good match. I don't know that I want to see it. Edge is picking wherever Orton goes. I agree. He'll just show up. He's not picking anywhere. He's just going to show up.
Okay, so wait. Here are, let's just, Drew.
R-Truth.
R-Truth's draft picks, okay? The number one pick to SmackDown is Ninja number 1. We then have Mercy the Buzzard coming in at number 2. Little Jimmy's at number 3. Sam Roberts is coming in at number 4. Mr. McMahon is number 5. Charlie Caruso is number 6. Sister Abigail's coming in at number 7. And at number 8, we have Brother Love. On the Raw side, we have Ninja number 2 for Raw.
So he split up the ninjas.
We have Huskus for number 2. R-Truth is going in at number 3 to Raw. Michael Cole is coming to Raw at number 4. Peter Rosenberg is number 5. Road Dogg is number 6. What the heck does that say? The other
Carmella.
The other Carmella at number 7. And Randy Savage is number 8. I hate to inform him, but I don't think Randy Savage is going to be able to make it to the draft.
That was all R-Truth's predictions. Interesting. What do you guys think is the highest stakes that Roman was talking about on Friday? I do not know. I don't know what he's talking about.
I think it's going to end up being Hell in a Cell. That's what I think.
Yeah, it could be.
I think there's going to be 3 Hell in a Cell matches at this Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. I think it'll be Sasha and Bayley. I think it'll be Randy and Drew, obviously, because that's been confirmed. And I think it'll be Roman and Jay.
Gimme Holy Ass says, I'm not sure that gimmick of Fiend doesn't really have a friendly demeanor, but they have the opportunity. They're both feuding with Kevin Owens. Yeah, I think tying Aleister Black into hopefully what they would do is bring back the Aleister Black entrance of the past and then tie him into that whole Fiend segment. I'm sorry, Mister Gleen and Maven. Nobody cares about y'all's opinion when it comes to Dana.
Ouch.
James.
That's harsh.
James.
That's harsh, man.
Everybody cares about our opinions all the time.
That's
why you're here.
And it has worked before with the Brothers of Destruction. I would argue Kane is similar in the sense of, in a sense to Fiend. I don't know how to read. I used to love the Brothers of Destruction. Yeah, they were pretty cool.
Randy, please go after the Universal Championship after Hayek. Yeah, I can see him do that.
I'm interested in how this Roman feud plays out.
So am I. I'm curious to see where they go with it. I love what they've done with it so far. So far, it's been really good. It's been interesting. I like what they're doing with Jey Uso.
I think
they're building him up, but they're still making Roman look like, I'm a tough dude.
Good one, Stone Cold David. I think Sami Zayn should go to Raw too. I think that'd be fun. Heavy Machinery to Raw?
Yeah. That'd be okay.
I wouldn't be mad at it, but also I don't know, because then Mandy and
you could tie that back into
Otis
the feud
are
with
back on the same thing.
Truth. Randy Savage
is dead. Wow. John Elite just lays it all out there.
I can't believe he just said that.
Did you know that?
He broke Truth's heart.
Did you know that Randy Savage was dead?
Yes, but he broke Truth's heart. I'm sorry. Truth is gonna probably cry now. I read somewhere that the Forgotten Sons aren't dead and may return. Whether Riker will be in part of that, part of them, or it's just the other two. Not sure. Edge has been part of the creative on Raw supposedly, and is high on their gimmick. I think their gimmick is good. I just think that you better not bring the goofball with them.
Yeah, I don't want to see the goofball.
Was Jay on SmackDown? I thought he would have been written off. He was on SmackDown, yes.
Yeah.
He actually came out and...
They're continuing the Roman stuff.
The cool part was... Yeah, they are, which is cool. I think it's cool what they're doing because Roman on SmackDown, Paul Heyman started, he is the tribal chief, and you must say his name. He is the tribal chief. And Roman looked at Heyman and goes, no. You don't call me the tribal chief. He needs to call me the tribal chief. And this is when Jay was in the ring with him. And he did not say that I am the tribal chief. So I think that's, I think that's a pretty cool way to do it. We already seen Heel McIntyre. Yes, we have. I'm just kidding, guys. I hope you all know that. James, we know that. I hope you know we're just kidding because that's kind of the way we are. Well, that's kind of the way I am.
It's the way we are.
Yeah.
We don't take too many things very seriously.
No.
I mean, that's just kind of, especially the president.
Yeah.
We really don't take him seriously.
But
we don't
but I am going to talk about the president here in just a minute. And you should all take it seriously. Mandy being on Raw is why I say they go to Raw. Miz and Morrison may even too. That's possible. Then you have the whole roster of all of SmackDown just moves over to Raw, and all of Raw moves over to SmackDown.
Dang, wouldn't
That'd
be
cool.
Epic? I feel like that's how the draft is going to go. They definitely need to not screw the draft up this year, where they tell us who's being drafted in what order, and then not change
Johnny Lee, my bad truth, but that's the truth, and the truth does hurt.
So I think WWE needs to not screw that up this year, because they did mess that up with last year's draft, because they literally told us,
We all know you're kidding, James. Dana's bad, and everyone knows it.
That's funny. Dang.
All right.
So you want to talk about Mr. President?
I'm going to talk about the president here.
Let's talk about Mr. President.
And how much of a screwball he is. All right.
Ooh. No. Actually, he's a doorknob. That's what I called him earlier and gave me a whole ass chat. And they were like, a doorknob? Don't you just mean a knob? And I was like, no, I meant doorknob. And Jack was like, I'm going to have to steal that. I'm going to have to use that now. Doorknob. All right. It's a thing. I love all the sayings that I get from you, Maven. And I'm like, yep, you're welcome. I say a lot of really weird things, but they sound pretty great. I mean, that's a piece of toast. That's buckets. Holy buckets. You're a doorknob. I mean, that's pretty That's pretty much. I could write a book. I could write a book of all the things that I say.
As Becky would say, give me, screw you.
So, it's...
Retribution needs to step their game up. They are not taking serious and ruined Retribution for me. I agree. I think that they screwed up Retribution with what they've done.
Definitely.
God bless our gracious queen. So the president, okay, he gets released from the hospital today. Why? Nobody knows, other than he probably threw a fit in the hospital about getting released. Okay? He gets out of the hospital. He goes out, puts on a big show, takes his mask off, does this little, wave into like his salute to whoever was there.
And they zoom in
waves to everybody.
They zoom in on him.
And like, and then he talks about how this COVID isn't so bad.
Wait, let me find the tweet. So
there's 210,000 people dead in the United States. We're about to get hammered again because you're an idiot. All right? You are a total moron. Okay? So...
Oh, here it is. Let me read this. Okay? I will be leaving the great Walter Reed Medical Center today at 6:30 p.m. Feeling really good. I'm sure there was probably a thumbs up in that too, but it's not in writing here. Don't be afraid of COVID. Don't let it dominate your life. We have developed under the Trump administration some really great drugs and knowledge. I feel better than I did 20 years ago. Well, the videos of you say otherwise because you were looking like you couldn't breathe. So, yeah. All right. That's real nice of you to say, don't be afraid of COVID. Don't let it dominate your life. Excuse me? You loser!
So, today, the big hospital that is closest to us comes out and within our state, they have the big hospital closest to us has 85% of their ICU filled up right now. And most of them are COVID patients. They are wanting people to make sure they wear masks. They want people to social distance. They want people to not, be around each other. They would like to make sure that schools aren't opening, like full completely, but they are. We have schools that are like going all in, and like in our area, we've had a lot of kids that have come down with this, and then they pass it on to their. In the last week, we've probably had about 100 cases, which is more than we had all prior to all of this.
Too much spray tan. They run out of bed covers, which you ruined.
Hello, Taco Maniac.
Oh man, that is so funny.
So our major hospital in our area has had to put out a statement today because they are 85% full right now with most of them being COVID patients. They are concerned that over the next month to month and a half, with the flu season coming up, that they're just going to be overwhelmed and they're going to have a lot of major issues. The 85% is higher than it was back in May when they saw a spike, at least initially, because back in May it was at 50% when they started to see their spike. Well, now at 85%, and if they see a spike, there's going to be some, like, they said they're going to run out of beds. They will have no more room for people. And it's the whole, because it's the whole, like, system in the state that's going to be overwhelmed. And if things don't change, especially with the flu coming up, that when people come to go to the hospital looking for a bed, they're not going to find one. And there's going to be a lot of people dying.
So messed up.
And there's stuff that's not being done. There's stuff not being promoted. I have a feeling this is going to happen in several places. And so I don't understand how you can come out and have disregard for people that have died from this, for the people that are going to die from this. Yes, kiss cam is awkward, I know.
Tell me about it.
I just don't understand how you can do this. I don't understand
any
of it.
Apparently,
How can you sit here and downplay this, knowing that you're going to have two? I would say probably by the end of the year we're going to be at 300,000 dead easy, with the way we're headed. Our hospital is concerned enough that we are in bad shape. Okay, we are a little town. We live in a little town away from our major hospital. We do have a hospital here in town. It is not like big. If we had like 5 people that had to go into the hospital, we would probably be overcrowded. There wouldn't be enough beds, ICU beds, for people to be in our hospital here within our town. So today, Mrs. Gleen went out shopping, and there were cars lined up looking to get COVID tests.
She was like,
which hasn't happened. We have not had that happen, but in the last week, we've seen probably 100 cases. We have had a total of 250 cases over the since this whole thing started. Our county has had 250 cases since the whole thing started. So with 100 of those being in the last week, about half of our cases, just under half of our cases, have just been in the last week. I have a feeling it's going to get bad here because
I don't leave the house.
It's just dumb.
I don't leave the house.
They might have to do a makeshift hospital. James, the only thing about a makeshift hospital is I think the difference between then and now is going to be the temperatures and the possibility of having snow and things like that.
Yep. So apparently earlier today was it was.
Excuse me, what?
It was Kellyanne Conway's daughter, right?
Yeah.
That she overheard her mother, who is at home quarantining because she has COVID. She overheard that apparently Trump is doing a lot worse than what
they're letting
everybody believe. So I'm thinking that Trump leaving the hospital was totally him just being
a baby.
Yeah, saying I'm going home. And it was totally against medical advice, and they were like, dude, you need to stay here because this is not good. And he's like, I don't care. I'm leaving. I'm going to tell the people that I'm totally fine, and everything's totally fine, and I can get all of my care at the White House. I don't care. That's what I think this was, and I think it's just so dumb. So
why did they even draft Alexa and Nikki separately last year? That was a waste of picks when they could have drafted them together. I agree.
So in other news...
the problem is, James, it's very difficult to set up in a short amount of time. They will probably get refrigerator trucks as a sad reality. Yeah, I think it's going to have to be. I mean, I don't understand this. I mean, why, we've opened everything up. We have a lot of people not wearing masks. And, of course, the goofball in charge is still, not promoting masks. Are you just dumb?
He's not promoting masks, but on the White House gift shop, he is selling Trump defeats COVID memorabilia pins or coins, a commemorative coin for $100.
So if you would like, a Trump defeats COVID pen, you too could go buy one
for $100.
Yeah, from the White House gift shop.
Yes, I don't know why that's a thing. I saw that and I was like, this can't be real. Stop, this isn't real. And then I went and did some research and it's totally real and they're actually selling them. And I was like, shut the front door. This is not...
Shut the front door.
I was like, why are we selling these?
He hasn't defeated it yet. In his mind, he has. Give me a whole yeah. So they're getting these pens out to everybody right now.
I don't understand it. They're on pre-order right now. So they're not available yet.
So when he dies next week and you get your pen, you can go, what the crap? This isn't real? This is worth lots of money now. $500, I'll sell it to you.
Oh, man. I don't understand it.
No.
Instead of going out there and promoting wearing masks, he's out there selling I defeated COVID pins.
Yeah.
For $100. Alrighty then.
Why do people just listen? For God's sake. Yeah. I don't understand. Follow science. Crazy. Does he have a line of Trump was defeated by COVID just in case?
He should.
He doesn't, but the family does.
Oh, man.
Because that's kind of the way the family rolls.
I've seen that apparently some of his family members are kind of divided on his whole stance on the way he's handled this because they're not very happy that he was leaving the hospital.
Yeah.
I think I saw something about Don Jr. was not very happy about that. Well, I mean, I don't know. Don Jr. kind of talks out his butt 90% of the time.
Literally.
I mean, everything I've ever seen from
You guys want to talk to me? You got to talk to this spot, too.
No. Everything I've ever seen from him is...
Did Ivanka get it? No.
I don't think so.
None of the kids have it.
Shockingly,
as of right now.
I don't know how.
Well, they may and they just haven't, said it.
But apparently some of the family members are not very happy about the way that he is,
Seriously. Don't care.
I've heard that some of the family members are not very happy.
Yeah. But you got to take that with a grain of salt.
I mean, yeah. Take that with a grain of salt.
They don't ever come in contact with each other. You're correct. You don't ever see them together.
They're family, and they're so close.
Family.
They're this close.
I think I mean Ivana. Yeah, the daughter. Yeah.
What the heck are their names?
I don't know. I think Ivanka's the ex-wife and Ivana is the daughter.
Ivana is the ex-wife and Ivanka is the daughter.
You were right.
It's...
Oh.
Melania.
Melania, yeah.
Melania is
She has it, yes.
Yeah.
Well, they say she has it.
Well, yeah, I mean, that could be...
And so does, like, 15 other people that were at that outdoor gathering that they had.
He has, like, 2 daughters. I don't even know what the other one's name is.
Who cares? And nobody wants to know.
The only one I know of is Ivanka.
Yeah.
And then Don Jr. And then there's Eric Trump. And then the other... Baron. But I don't know what the other one's name is.
Mike.
I mean... maybe.
Eric. It's Eric.
Yeah, I said Eric.
Don Jr.
Said Eric, Don Jr.,
Baron.
Ivanka, Baron, and then there's another one.
There is?
Yes.
He's got so many kids that I don't even know who they are.
There's another girl.
They should take advice from other countries. No, James, we would not want to follow science. We would not want to follow what other people have done. We're just like, we're going to defeat this. One day.
What is her name?
One day it's all going to go away. One day, this nation will be good again. And when it is, I will take all the credit for it.
What is her name?
China did a great job. Yeah, well, everybody's done a great job. We haven't. We had 50 states doing 50 different things, and it took a rocket scientist to figure out how that's going to go. People travel from state to state. People go places all over the place, and like we had no consistent thing. We had 50 governors doing 50 different things, and the president going, "You guys figure it out." Oh, things are going good now? Yes, thank me. I did it.
This is going to kill me.
Yes.
You don't even know what I'm talking about.
No, I have no clue.
Tiffany!
Not everyone else.
Tiffany Trump. That's what her name is.
Tiffany.
Tiffany.
I didn't even know there was a Tiffany Trump.
Apparently there is. Tiffany. I thought her name was Taylor. It's Tiffany.
Taylor, Tiffany, Bob,
Pretty
Frank.
much the same
Who
thing.
cares? She's got to leave that douchebag. She was probably like, God, he's in the hospital. Thank God. Hope he doesn't make it. Oh, crap. He's back at the White House. Oh.
Mike Pence is probably doing a little dance right now. He's like, yes, he's not dead. I don't have to take over yet.
Pence is like, I'm just along for the ride. Please don't put me in charge. I don't want to be in charge.
Oh, man.
I just took this on for the title.
That's it. I don't really know what I'm doing.
I knew there would be nothing I would do. He put me in charge of the coronavirus team. I didn't have to worry about that either. Easiest job ever.
It kills me, dude. It kills me. So yeah, they're selling pins, and that's great. And the president, like, essentially couldn't breathe and was, like, dying on the White House lawn. So that was exciting.
All right. We're going to take off.
Is there anything else to yell about?
No, I don't think so. I just had to, like, talk about it.
Okay. We can see if anybody leaves another comment here in just a second. But if not, then I think
we're going to take off. We will see you guys on Wednesday. Yes.
Wednesday.
Yes. With that.
With AEW and NXT.
Peace out, everybody.